Okay, after a harrowing experience with my audio settings in Windows, we are back, baby. Team malViolence. That can only mean one thing. Spooktober Visual Novel Jam 2023. That can only mean another thing. The same thing. Authentication. Oh no! Gotta sign in. Who am I? I am Dawn. Dawn. Penta. Dawn. Very good. Authentication. Authentication approved. Loading records. This is PROTOVIOLENCE by Matto, who you might remember from a very special game I played last year called malViolence, a very charming and dastardly puzzle game starring everyone's favorite, my favorite, villain, Caution, carrying on the legacy of the legendary Dr. Danger, the most dangerous supervillain on the planet, back when she was alive. malViolence was very much the story of an unnamed stop agent in the lair of the protege of Dr. Danger, Caution, and all his whimsical traps designed to eliminate nefarious stop agents. But there was an undercurrent of something way more tragic in that story, scattered throughout. A few things we learned playing through that game. If you haven't played malViolence, first of all, why? Second of all, do it. Third of all, get on that, lab rats. What are you doing? Come on now. Get with the program here. But yes, there was an undercurrent of something far more tragic revealed, sprinkled throughout in terms of lore. The tale of a child, subject of experimentations at the hands of what is, thematically, the greatest, the peacekeeping organization of all time, Stop, and their various other excursions into cybernetics. And also the impression that Dr. Danger herself, we learned her real name, Deirdre Destrange, I believe, was in fact a scientist who was working for Stop. And the implication was that she intervened in some experiments that went especially too far and saved the life of a young boy, helped nurse him back to health. And that led us to where we were in malViolence. This is PROTOVIOLENCE. This is that story. Over 2 decades ago, Dr. Iris Kai wrote me a recommendation for an up-and-coming international security agency. Back then, I was overjoyed. I had chalked it up to the usual trajectory of high-flying scientific careers. Get into a growing field early, do good science while the fires of invention are still hot, then dip out with distinction before the coals grow cold. But maybe I was just projecting. The first time my name showed up in a cybernetics textbook, I called my parents and invited my friends to dinner at my favorite restaurant. Compare that to half a year ago when I got a write-up in the East Coast Medicine Review. I didn't even open the copy they sent me. I thought Iris's ennui was a little more advanced than my own. It was a nice party. She was surrounded by friends and co-workers, lauded by her peers and praised by her subordinates. And the whole time, she looked hollow. Fear of retirement, I theorized. I couldn't be further from the truth. Stop. The organization I've dedicated my life to has always been at the forefront of cybernetics. The bleeding edge, some would say. Yet they're pushing all the wrong boundaries, taking science, my science, in a cruel new direction that I cannot abide. Trainee sample. Oh. My research is being used to experiment on children. But I'm not powerless, and the architects behind these new programs aren't fools. If I can present a proper case against this, show them the pain hidden between the numbers and the suffering they are whitewashing over in pursuit of percentage points, I have hope that things can still be made right. But that hope is dwindling. I thought I granted peace to the world with my research. Maybe all I did was read the new Nero. Sorry for messaging you at this hour. Couldn't sleep. Having second thoughts? No. My transfer's already been approved. Next Monday I'm entering the Youth Training and Development Initiative as a supervisor, but... Iris, you've worked with STOP longer than I have. Can you tell me anything else about the YTDI? Nothing that'll help you sleep? Well, that's reassuring. Still can't believe this is happening. STOP's full of scientists, not... I never oversaw any of the projects directly. By the time the YTDI was founded, I was already on the way out. My understanding, the program was based on your research. Specifically, the younger the patient, the better the cybernetic sync rate. That report was intended for STOP agents, not anyone under 18. Cybernetic enhancement is major surgery, even if we're giving someone a new eye or ear. There's all the anesthesia involved, intense PT regimens. Some volunteers needed immunosuppressants to sync with their enhancements. Can you imagine how painful that would be for a child? Well, the higher-ups clearly felt differently. The Youth Training and Development Initiative is for the greater good, educating and rehabilitating underprivileged children. What does grafting dangerous technology onto a child have any positive outcome? What's the point? Where's the greater good in that? When STOP was founded, that good was clear. Back when the world was in turmoil and cybernetics were getting slapped on terrorists and rebels in vet clinics and garages, STOP put an end to that. We put an end to that. Then we kept going, so it wouldn't happen again. Because we kept going, the world's now the safest it's been in decades. Presidents of countries to STOP's very own higher-ups, the people in power are pleased with the new state of things, and they'll do anything they can to keep them that way. Like I said, not the best conversation topic if you're looking to put your mind at ease. But do try to get some rest, Deirdre. On the sound of it, you have a long week ahead of you. Do my best. May 13th, 2070X. Ooh. My first impression is that this place is beautiful. Natural light trickles through frosted glass, enveloping the courtyard below in a warm, if not softened, glow. On the bridge I'm on, I can even see green. Grass, flowers, trees, an oasis of natural beauty, full of life, and full of laughing children. I can't help but wonder if I made a wrong turn. There's no stark surgical scrubs, no hospital gowns. The air smells clean, not disinfected. My eyes are inevitably drawn toward the towering column that pierces the building's center. It's a dark monument, with few doors, no windows, and a very heavy shadow. My skin prickles. What purpose could... Not lost already, are you? My train of thought's grim path is cut short by a familiar, husky voice. Oh, hello.
Angie, it's wonderful to see you again.
The same to you, Deirdre. As usual, her choice of words is formal, but I recognize the warmth hidden underneath them. It's been a long time since we talked face to face. For sure. We didn't think we'd get to work together again. Not every career path's a straight line, right? No, definitely not. Happy as I am to be working with you, I was surprised to learn that you wanted to transfer here. To me, you were always married to the craft of cybernetics and nothing else. Huh, I guess that's one way of putting it. Suppose there's more to me than meets the eye. I suppose there is. So I understand you're planning to write a case study on the work we're doing here at the YTDI. You were always more interested in theory than application. But again, you were always a pioneer as well. I mean, it's a new program based on my research. Why wouldn't I want to observe it? Oh no, I think it's fantastic, having you of all people here. In fact... no. Oh? That reaction. Don't want to get too deep into discussion on your first day. That's a very telling reaction. Your time's valuable, so... How about I give you a tour? Oh, well, I did request one, but you don't have to. No, trust me. There's a lot here. More than we could cover in one day. But we should be able to go over the basics. And who better to help you find your footing than an old colleague? All right. Where to first? Awesome. I'm not a professional tour guide, but I'd say the courtyard would be the best place to start. Lead the way. My understanding is that this is kinetic compared to malViolence, but this is still has a very... a powerful amount of polish so far. So that's why there's so much greenery. Of course. We want our trainees to be as healthy as possible, both physically and mentally. And while it might be hard to see on an MRI, being around trees and plants really does do wonders for the brain. No, Angie, I believe you. Actually, I think I feel it myself. We installed it all for the trainees' sake, but if it helps the staff stay sane as well, that's a nice bonus. That reminds me, you should see the classrooms, too. So we'll take these stairs and go through these doors. Oh, after you, of course. If we just go down this hallway... Now we're in the depths. Why'd that... Maybe it's giving me war flashbacks to that puzzle in malViolence, but why did that the central room that we arrived in at the start of this, why'd that kind of give me Panopticon vibes? The black pillar in the center, it seemed to be round-ish with that at the center, so war flashbacks to that Panopticon puzzle. We're here. Bit of a walk, isn't it? But also very telling, given the mood that black pillar gives off. Must be easy to get lost. I suppose. But you get used to it. Anyway, this is where the trainees get educated. Oh. And what does that entail? Well, we've got all the core essentials. Math, literacy, self-defense, and phys ed. Pardon? Physical education. No, I mean self-defense. Oh, don't make that face. It's not that serious. Gym mats and padded gloves and whatnot. Probably thinking, is my research being used to train stop agents from fucking birth, childhood? At their age, the trainees couldn't hurt each other even if they tried. And do they ever try to hurt each other? The world's a dangerous place. Our trainees know that better than anyone. The earlier we teach them how to protect themselves, the better off they'll be. I suppose you're right. That face when, you know, there's something really telling going on here, but you tell yourself that this is right. And you try to convince yourself that it's right. But it's not all schoolwork and drills. They get to do fun stuff, too. I mean, we passed an arts and crafts center just a moment ago. You should see some of the stuff they make in there. We might have the next Mark Rothko or Agnes Martin on our hands. I nod, as if I know who these people are. Mood. Fine art never was a favorite subject of mine. We'll have to check it out tomorrow. We'll have to check it out another time. Yeah, you ought to. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. You're here to do a detailed case study on a single trainee, correct? Yes, that's right. Why do you ask? We've got a class going on right now. Should be literacy at this time of day. You're suggesting I choose my case study subject right now? Could give you a much better idea of what we do, seeing how the trainees actually go about their day. Come on, look over here. Don't worry, they won't notice us, one-sided mirror. They're all preoccupied with, writing exercises, it looks like. Wow. Oh god, the camera work's astounding. The cinematics here. As I said earlier, it feels like an extraordinary amount of polish, but there's a ton of really intentionally detailed cinematics here that's really immersive. This is a classroom. I've been in medical libraries with more noise. They're very well behaved. You would thank the people who designed the core curriculum for that. Our trainees are showing a 34% increase in memory retention compared to a same-age control group, short and long term. That's very impressive, isn't it? The bell could ring right now, they'd still be glued to their work. If this were any other education program, they'd all be fiddling with their fine liners, glaring at the clock, doodling in the margins. Like that child over there. Right, that one. Oh, is it? He's a bit of an outlier, statistically. Really? But I thought your curriculum was, well, it's not 100% effective. Sometimes you'll get stragglers. You don't leave them behind. All they need is a little extra motivation. There. The teacher's already taken notice. You're taking him to the front of the classroom. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Is he being yelled at? Yelled at? The teacher might be raising their voice. Hold on, why are the other children lining up with him? They didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's the extra motivation I was talking about. Whoa. Oh no, they're all side-eyeing him. All new trainees get sorted into squadrons. Squadrons? Like soldiers? Like birds, I'd say. They're close-knit. Ah, yes. My squadron of birds. We expect each squadron to fly at roughly the same pace. So if one member underperforms, the entire group is made aware of it. It all looks a little inflexible. They're better off learning these rules early. Rules? I'm not sure that... Oh? There it is! He smiled at me. Oh. They're supposed to stand perfectly still for a full 5 minutes, so that's, I have to refocus. I've made my decision. Oh, good! So which trainee? I want that boy to be my subject. May I ask why? I can't give a concrete answer. Suppose I'm going with my gut. That's not very scientific. Then why don't we call it an intuitive choice made by one of the world's leading cybernetics researchers? As I said, that particular trainee is something of a statistical outlier. Then taking a closer look at him should help us correct any inefficiencies in the program, no? I suppose I can't argue with that. That day, he chose me. He smiled his way into my heart forever. That one cheeky grin. All right, D. Here's where his quarters are. You're certain this is the one you want to use for your case study? Again, I've made my decision, Angie. Right. Just wanted to confirm. Trainee CO458? I repeat, trainee CO458. You've got a visitor. Come over here and greet her.
Huh? A visitor?
Make it quick, please. She's a very busy lady with a lot to get done today. Geez, you could be a little more... Oh, friend? Oh. Wait a minute. You're the lady I saw in class. Yes, very good. What's S4174 doing behind you? Shri wanted to come, so I let her. This really doesn't concern her. S4174, you can... is immediately more human than this program is treating him. Gave her a name. It's not a big deal, is it? What's the harm in getting introduced to his roommate? Right. CO458, this is your cue to introduce yourself.
Well, allow me...
In a normal, timely manner.
Nice to meet ya. I'm Pavel.
Pavel, nice to meet you.
People here only call me CO458.
Oh. A number. Standard procedure. We try to keep things double-blind around here as much as possible. Plus, the first hand class had like 3 Emmas and 4 Quins, so... Oh. Okay. Right. What about you, lady? What's your name? Deirdre. Deirdre Destrange. You can call me Dr. Deirdre if you want. Dr. Deirdre? Dr. Deirdre. Dr. Danger. Dr. Deirdre! Hee hee. That's a nice name. Has anyone ever told you that? Not, recently. Oh! Do you want to introduce yourself too? Well, the floor is all yours. Hello. I'm, Shreya. You got this, Shri. Look, Dr. Deirdre is waving to you. Everybody wave at Shri. Hey. Everybody tell Shri they're doing a great job. Shri is my roommate. Normally we stick together. If I'm around, chances are she is too. I see. You two must be very close. Oh, we're besties. We never go anywhere without each other. Except for class. Wish we weren't in different squads. Hey, D? Not looking to interrupt you, but you don't have all the time in the world. I still need to show you around the research labs. Okay. Let me just wrap up here. It's nice to meet you, CO458. Starting next week, I'll be interviewing you. Interviewing me? About what? About your hobbies? Your classmates? Your future? Lots of things like that. I want to know how you and your fellow trainees are doing in this program. Oh, I can do that, but I'm confused. Why me? Because I picked you specifically. And why did you pick me specifically? Specifically. You stood out in class. I saw you, and I thought you'd be interesting to talk to. Makes sense. My teacher says I'm like a dandelion in a field full of roses. Ooh, that's one way of putting it. But wait, what about your friend? Just because I'm interviewing you doesn't mean you can't stick together.
Sound reasonable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a deal.
God, the stop stop logo slide on the neckerchief makes them feel like it's a fucking stop scouts. Except we research you. It is a panopticon. It's a fucking panopticon. God damn it. We can't be free from the panopticon. Sorry if I've rushed you a bit back there. And if I came across as grouchy earlier. It's just... been working a lot of hours lately. It's tough out here. Angie, it's fine. Not like I was much better in the past. Oh God, don't remind me. When you were taking lead on artificial organ development, it's like you were in a trance. I gave you one little tap on the shoulder, you'd snap up like a cobra on a rake. Yes, I remember how you put it. Those were dark times. By the time we pushed through to the development on the spleen, I never wanted to see another culture sample as long as I lived. Hear, hear. So Angie, about those research labs. Right. From here, the fastest route would be... are the research labs in the panopticon? Case study report. 513. Initial supervisory report. Though it has been advertised as a youth education program, it is my understanding that the purpose of the YTDI is to prepare its trainees for cybernetic enhancement and eventual employment within STOP. While it is known that biotech synchronization rates are inversely correlated to age, the side effects on individuals below the age of 18 are not fully understood at this time. They may be more severe than they would be on an adult mind and body. Furthermore, I have concerns about the purpose of the program and how its participants are selected. As supervisor, it is my intent to observe the YTDI's operations and ensure that the health and well-being of its trainees are being properly upheld. As part of my duties, I intend on engaging in a focused case study of trainee CO458 to observe his development under the YTDI's curriculum. For compliance purposes, our one-on-one conversations will be recorded. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. This is what, a month? Roachman is wiggling in the direction of the problem. Oh, this is suddenly... The craft center was nice. I mean, that's gotta be a good sign, right? A good sign and a good thing are different matters. I know. It's all just window dressing if the end they're working toward is... well... as I said, at least the craft center was nice. I'm reviewing your file, and I'm a lot more concerned about the militaristic conditions you've reported. Plus, every time you critique some part of the YTDI, Dr. Tan seems to resist. Yeah, she does. Angie's always been pretty rigid. She's not a bad person. She's just sort of like... just very by the books. She's not a bad person, she's just... like, in the corporate... right. Don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but... the sort of thing where... firmly in the sort of structure where good people can end up doing bad things and justify it. Dr. Tan is a salaried administrator. She's been around for so long that she writes the books. No one's forcing her to stay where she is. I could have easily been in her shoes, Iris. Not with her scruples. From my impression, Tan's philosophies on cybernetics have this whole savior complex to them. What? She just wants to help people. I'm sure she believes that. But in your log, she seems obsessed with Shrilya's right hand, constantly talking about improving it. Cybernetics are meant to be a voluntary choice, not some mandatory fix. She's still doing good for the kids. She's my friend. Deirdre, you're one of the brightest people I know. Maybe the best of your generation. Think about the lab script, the classrooms, the panopticon in the dorms. The fucking panopticon. That's what STOP has become. You don't owe them anything anymore. Its foundations are rotten. We can heal that rot. If you say so. Just want to have faith in people. I want to have faith in STOP and its scientists and the colleagues and friends I've worked with for years. Even a genius like you can't change the mind of someone who's not listening. That's why this case study needs to go on. I will make them listen. Right. Anything else you want to discuss? About Pavel, grape-scented sticker the other day. He loved it. I take back what I said. Sounds like it's all rosy over there. Oh gosh, there's a little... Coffee. Book. June 6th. Some part of me wants my thoughts to blow with the wind. Putting them to paper certainly meets that mark. Besides, all the blue light was making my eyes ache. There are more pressing issues to worry about tonight. The children are all orphans. I'm not surprised. Setting aside the militaristic dressing, the YTDI isn't much different from a standard boarding school. Compared to how STOP's first few batches of field agents were housed, the accommodations here are downright luxurious. Still, that's comparing volunteer soldiers to abandoned children. An analogy no one should make. And the children's meals consist of lab script. Why? If I'm running late, I settle on an apple and a protein bar. If I'm feeling unhealthy, maybe a toaster strudel. Obviously, people enjoy flavor in their food. There's no need for them to eat tasteless pellets. They're humans, not lab rats. Remembering the lab script that we found with the arsenic in it. Surely nutritious, filling meals aren't out of budget. Like pancakes. After all, the education is world class. I suspect that STOP's spending a lot of money there. On top of that, the YTDI is immaculate. The building's practically sparkling. My shoes track dirt as I walk in. It's wiped away every time I walk out. It's ironic how such a clean place can make me feel so dirty. Speaking of treating humans like lab rats, that boy, CO458. For formal reasons, I can't mention it in recording sessions, but I know his name is Pavel. Was taking his name necessary? Were they that concerned about observer bias? Might be the only thing his parents ever gave him. Why scribble it away like it's a stain to be removed? The boy's lonely, too. Yes, he has Shreya, but she's in part of his squadron, his pre-assigned social group. It's a terrifying way of putting that. His squad mates frequently exclude him outside of class. And the fucking... the way that school squadron thing is structured, and the fact that he's naturally falling behind here, means that of course he's going to get excluded. It's designed for them to shame him for lagging behind, because they get punished when he lags behind. They don't let him play with them, so he's often in the arts and crafts center sewing or knitting by himself. I think he'd be less lonely if the teachers didn't pit all the kids against one another. At least Pavel's allowed to have hobbies. I know he likes superheroes, so I'll bring him some comics from the YTDI's library. I suspect the books there are vetted, but if I'm lucky I might find something that'll make him smile. Maybe I could even use it to teach him something new. Doesn't seem like any of the YTDI teachers care enough about personalizing the learning experience. I was gonna say, they don't indulge. The feeling is like they don't bother. They take such great care of the facility, but they don't bother indulging any of the people, the kids here, with like putting actual effort into the fucking food, because it's not about the kids to them, it's about the science, and the science has gone too far. It's like these kids are really being treated just like lab rats. We're going to take great care of the place. We can conduct the biggest, greatest science experiment on the development of and synchronization of cybernetics in kids. But they're just footnotes in this experiment, so just lab script. Oh, I also bought a pack of stickers for him. Do boys his age think grape stickers are cool? Not that I've written this, I realize I might have come across as embarrassing. Maybe grape is lame. Maybe orange is the way to go. God, I don't know anymore. Guess there's only one way to find out. B. Oh. Oh no. Can we give him Roachman? Oh, there's the stickers. $6.12. This report marks the 1-month point of trainee CO458's case study. This time I observed several facets of the YTDI's operations, now believe that I have a firm grasp of the day-to-day activities of the trainees. The majority of the children selected for the YTDI come from orphanages. Upon arrival at the YTDI, trainees are separated into squads, similar to the ones utilized by STOP field agents. Formal education takes place entirely within these squads. It involves tuition in literacy, mathematics, self-defense, etc. Outside of the classroom, trainees have access to several extracurricular activities, including craftwork, sports, and video games. These activities are beneficial for fostering bonds and growth between the children. I find it notable that several of the activities available overlap with ones frequently undertaken by STOP operatives at the recovery period after the implantation of new cybernetics, e.g. sewing for hand-eye coordination, video games for reaction speed, etc. The standard of care appears to be, at least, sufficient. CO458 has expressed that it is a significant improvement over his previous lodgings. Still, I have some questions to raise with Dr. Tan later. Dr. Deirdre Strange. Or is this the recorded interview? Yep. Interview with CO458. Oh boy. June 12th. So happy.
Right, CO458, I've started recording. Before you fall over from all that wiggling.
Oh,
Yay!
I'm just super excited. I'm glad to hear that. But you can relax. We're just talking today. Really? Whew. My cheeks are numb from all that grinning. I can imagine. I did the same thing in my school photos. You did? But I stopped because, well, it made me look, like a dork. Harsh, but true. How'd you... Yeah, you still kind of do. Ahem. Right. Have you ever been called something like that before? A dork? No, never. Well, maybe a few times. But the other kids don't know anything, so it's their loss. What don't they know? That when I grow up, I'm gonna be super famous and super pretty, and I'm gonna have 1 billion friends. I can see it now. But we're starting to veer off topic, and I only have so much time with you. So, let's get right to business. Okay. What do you want to know? For today, I'd like to ask you 3 questions. Pop quiz, huh? Okay. Ready to go? Good. First, how did you come to be here? What do you mean? I mean, before you lived here as were part of the YTDI, where did you live? Well, I like the side profiles and such, and the sprites we see. We only got one of Angie, but it was used really effectively. That's smooth transition to looking through the window at the class for the first time. Before I got here, I lived in an orphanage. Uh-oh. And what was that like? I don't remember much, but it was pretty lonely. There weren't many others there. No, there were a whole bunch of us. We shared rooms and beds and the adults' attention. You weren't treated as an individual. Yeah, I wasn't treated as an individual. An individual novel available on itch.io now. A lot of us ran around and it was pretty noisy, but I was always bored. When it wasn't mealtime, school time, or chore time, I was stuck in the common room with most of the others. Because we had to share so much, we fought all the time. Oh? Yeah. Like one time I wanted to play with the Scrabble board. Another girl said I couldn't have it because all I did was trace the board's grid with my fingers. So I said to her, "Nuh-uh, that's how you play Scrabble." And she said, "You're always doing stuff wrong." Then I made a face at her. Then she pulled my hair. Then, you both got into trouble, right? Only I did. So I feel that's going. Yeah, no, okay. I scratched her and she started crying. So I got punished. I found the rule book later. She was right. I was playing the game wrong. I said sorry, but the way I played was fun too. Interesting. You seem different than most of the others here. More inclined to try, like, approaching the world from a different perspective. How were you picked for this program? I don't know. One day, these people in white clothes came to the orphanage. They didn't want to play or talk or anything. They just watched us for a week or so. Then this loud person told me and a bunch of other kids that we had a fright. I mean, a bright future ahead of us, loud person. And they brought us here. Must have come a long way. I don't think so. I fell asleep on the bus because I couldn't sleep the night before. After we got here, it wasn't even lunchtime. I see. Next question. Are you getting along with your squadron? We're all supposed to get along with our squadron. I know. But it's okay. You can be honest. Okay. Most of my squad mates are boring apple polishers. They hate me just because the teachers get mad at me and make us stay in class for an extra 10 minutes. It's not my fault class is dull. It's not like my doodles are bothering anyone. Did you know any of your squad mates back at the orphanage? No. For some reason I was put in a different squad from everyone else I knew. Squad sorting must be done randomly. Trying to avoid pre-established social grouping. Sorry, I just had something to jot down. What about your roommate? What do you think of her? Roommate. You mean Tree? Oh, she's really quiet most of the time. Once you get to know her, she's really smart and kind. Most importantly, she's my best friend. Oh, I remember. You told me that when you introduced me to her. Yep. She's also my first friend. And I guess my only one. When school's done, we talk about stuff and do things together. Oh, and she teaches me things. Like a few weeks ago, she taught me how to do my hair. So that's why you have a hairband there. Oh, it's adorable. I wear it all the time now. Anything else you do together? Filling in coloring books? Playing Mary Mac or A Sailor Went to Sea? Oh, and also we read. Though she is way better than me at it. Like, way better. I heard the teacher say she was 2 reading levels ahead of the rest of her squad. Wow, that's impressive. I know, right? She's so cool. That brings me to my third and final question. When Tree is not around, what do you like doing in your spare time? Sewing and knitting. When it's break time, I go to the arts and crafts room and make stuff. We know he's got a very fond affinity for sewing and knitting. Made his own goth. Made his own outfit. So far I've made a placemat and a headband and a scarf. I could show you them sometime if you want. I'd love to see what you've made. Yay! As for other stuff, well, teachers say it's not proper literature, but I like reading comics. I like reading comments. There's a lot less words than Shriya's books, but they're filled with cool pictures. I wish my art was that cool. I'm sure you'll get there with practice. I'm one step ahead of you. That's why I doodle in class. So I can get good, fast. Speedrunning experience. Just grinding for RDXP right there. Anything else you enjoy doing? Impressive grind, sir. Well, there's lots of stuff I want to try, but class and homework's always in the way. Bleh. I agree. I'm sorry. I hope you can get more free time in the future. Yeah, me too. Alright then. I think that's a good place for us to stop today. Huh? You're leaving already? I wish I could stay longer, but I'm afraid I need to catch up on work. Oh, I get it. You seem like a very busy lady, Dr. Deirdre. More so than usual. I should have time to dig out my Scrabble board. You have a Scrabble board? I do, right in my basement. Was it in storage? Either way, I'll find it, then we can play. Whichever way you want, of course. Really? Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate me, though. I'm a Scrabble champion. Or, I was. Been a bit since I last played. Whoa. A Scrabble champion. I have to go now. So, here's a little thank you for all your help. Grape sticker. Huh? What's this? It's a special sticker. If you scratch it. Whoa! Look at him! It smells like grapes! Indeed it does. Thank you, Dr. Deirdre. And thank you for talking with me.
I'll see you next week, yes?
Keep bringing in awesome stuff like this, and I'll talk to you every day.
Oh, the precious boy. August 13th. Oh. Another month of progression. What happened here? Iris? Deirdre, did you leave anything out from your talks with Dr. Tan? From what I've read, she's barely said a single honest word. Didn't we have this conversation before? And she's an old friend and a good colleague, a brilliant scientist. She isn't some fool or zealot. If I can get her on my side, it's essential that I do. All the same, she does make some points. If we rebuild the YTDI from the inside out, it could be a net positive for children everywhere. Are you and I on the same page anymore? The whole program's rotten. It's not worth saving, let alone any organization that greenlighted it. If they got rid of the cybernetics, I'm confident that stop could make the YTDI into a competent institution. Competent institutions don't feed kids lab script. That's a very hard thing to... Yeah, that's an argument ender right there. I'm not going to burn everything down for a better future. It's not incompatible with what you want. That's a deadly line there from Iris. That is an argument ender. That's... You can't... Like... How do you look at that and say... How do you respond to that, even? Think, Deirdre. Stop is a security organization, not a charity. They offer peace of mind for sale. Why else would they be enhancing children except for their own benefit? Look, I'm trying my best here. But consider this. The program was shut down tomorrow. What would happen to those children? Who else has the resources and the will to take them all in? It wasn't out of the good of Stop's heart. I can tell you that much. Don't be so conspiratorial. Don't be so blind. Dr. Tan is dragging this program forward based on your research. I know. Then speak up. Study report, 8-4. Regular conversations with CO458 have continued. Contrary to what I have witnessed while observing his classroom, CO458 has been inquisitive and willing to cooperate with my study in our one-on-one interactions. This contrast has led me to form a hypothesis as to why this might be the case. It is my belief that CO458 is not unintelligent, that the teaching methods used by the YTDI are insufficient to engage him. What his instructors have described as acting out appears to instead be an expression of boredom. Considering the number of children that the YTDI has under its roof, I do not believe that CO458 is the only trainee having difficulty with his assignments. I have noted that his squad's instructors rarely encourage creative solutions to exercises, and instead prefer completion of tasks to a set rubric. Standards-based teaching methods often produce results that look good on a spreadsheet. They rarely result in significant information retention or well-developed critical thinking skills. I did not expect a critique on the standardized testing and the failings of the school system, but here we are, and I'm all for it. On top of this, the children with learning disorders are often left behind. These are all extremely relevant to the failings of our modern education system. What worries me is that CO458's antics often result in his entire class being punished for his actions. The intent behind this measure is to emphasize that the squad is a unit. A failure on one member's part reflects on them all. Perhaps this is successful in other squads, but in CO458's case, all they seem to have managed to do is other him from his peers. Dr. Deirdre Strange. Oh, I've seen that already. August 12th. I wasn't prepared for the number of children who were happy to be at the YTDI. The number of kids who were overjoyed just because they had clean clothes and sheets. Money doesn't necessarily buy quality education, but Stop really isn't cheaping out on their schooling. They're practically throwing money at this program, even if the staff sometimes treats the children poorly. As I've mentioned, the education itself is good. The students are given a rigorous curriculum of math, literacy, and physical education and self-defense. The instruction is cold, for the lack of a better word. The burden of responsibility is placed on the students, at a point in their lives where they might not be capable of it. There's no personalization, no room for makeup or extra credit, and anyone who underperforms gets treated like a pariah. Children aren't dumb. Treat them like this and they'll come to understand that their performance is the singular measure of their value. If they're lagging behind, it's entirely on them to get back up to speed. There are plenty of college students who find that level of responsibility overwhelming, but these kids are elementary schoolers. They need coaching to get things through to them. Frankly, I'm surprised that there aren't more stragglers. I acknowledge the YTDI is a new program and Stop isn't an educational organization. Some growing pains aren't to be expected. Angie's been listening to my criticisms. She's not stonewalling me, even if she insists that the children are much better off than they used to be. When I bring things up, she always fires off statistics. Stuff like, half the trainees were illiterate before they came here. Now, 98% are performing above metrics. Ah yes, above metrics. And when I ask whether my own suggestions for the YTDI have been considered, she claims that they're in the queue to be heard. Ah, yes. There's a long chain of command to go through. But still, she's listening to me. That said, she's much less receptive when I broach the subject of cybernetics. It's what underpins the entire project, and Angie doesn't want to do away with it. She brushes off the side effects like we were discussing fringe theories in the classroom. Part of me wonders how she didn't see this coming. Did she expect me to approve just because of a report I made years ago? Well, I can't. I'm trying to be patient for the sake of an old friend. That's not even mentioning the other problems. Children sleep in a beehive with a central guard peering into their rooms. The games, books, and shows they have access to are wildly limited. I've seen more than one trainee space out while looking at their lab script lunch. I'm sure all this is making the staff miserable too. The guards eat their meals in the cafe. The teachers' curriculums are stringent. It's one of these researchers can see their keyboards in front of them when they're working so hard to avert their eyes. That's a very telling sentence. If Stop wanted its own boarding school division of JROTC program, more power to them. But leave cybernetics out of it. JROTC, it's a thing you'll see in, like, between high school and college, reserve officer training. College? And JROTC, obviously, junior, taking place at this age and point in time. Thank goodness I'm not too late for the trainees. Corpse. Reserve Officer Training Corpse. I dread the moment any of them turn of age. Turn of age to be enhanced. Interview. August 13th. The amazing thing is I'm playing this on October 13th.
Oh, the video camera wasn't on.
Oh? What are you doing?
Oopsie.
Oopsie. Oh, no.
Guess the world will never know the results of our grand scrattle match, huh?
Oopsie. Know that? It's a shame. Your skills have improved tremendously. But I lost again. Well, I was a Scrattle champion. We just learned the rules a couple of weeks ago. You're working on getting your elo up. I mean it. You are very good. But you could go toe-to-toe with Shreya now. Uh-huh? Have you foolish adults finally reevaluated my reading ability? Oh, wait. I don't think Shreya knows how to play Scrattle. You could teach her. I think she'd also make a wonderful player. Maybe. I don't know if I'll have time, you know? What do you mean? Did something happen? Oh, can I tell you a secret? By all means. So my teacher asked me to stay behind in class. Thought he had spotted me drawing again, but he told me I didn't have to study anymore because one of the researchers had talked to him. That's strange. What did they tell him? They said I'm going to go through my first processing. Processing? What is that? I don't know. None of us know. I mean, I know that everyone gets processed eventually. That processed trainees graduate. That when you graduate, you leave the initiative. That's rather vague. That's what I said. They must be hiding something. I I don't know what's going to happen to me. When I think about it at night, I can't sleep. Makes my skin all prickly. Do you know what's really strange? You wanna know what's really strange? None of my squad mates are getting processed with me. Is that unusual? Yeah. You always see other trainees leave for processing in groups of 2 or 3 or 4. Never one. CO458, I'm not stupid. I know why I was picked. Because I doodle in class. Because I forget my homework. So when it's time for group projects, none of my squad mates want to work with me. Because whenever I try to talk to someone, they always act so tired. My squad, the other trainees, even my teachers, I know they want me processed. I sense it, even when they don't speak to me. Because they all hate me. Oh. Shreya doesn't hate you. She's in a different squad. She doesn't have to be around me when we do class. She was always getting punished because of me. Well, I like you too. How about that? Just saying that because of your case study thing. No, I mean it. You're a talented artist. Your excitement is infectious. And you're much smarter than people give you credit for. I think you're lovely just the way you are. Oh. 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 Can I ask you something? Of course. Could you visit me as soon as my first processing is over? Of course I will. My case study requires it. Pinky swear? On my life. And if you break your promise? You can break my finger. Huh? Really? No, I'm kidding. But I will come back for you, no matter what. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared.
I promise.
Oh, I'm scared. August 29th. Things have happened. Things have very clearly. No interview, just notes. Pavel's in processing. Won't get to see him for at least another week. Thought there'd be more time. He's still so small. Is there anything you know about these procedures? Please tell me they're only skin deep. Sorry. I wish I could tell you more. Processing is kept under wraps, especially tight wraps at the YTDI. As you've gathered, it is related to cybernetic enhancement. I should have done something. I should have used my authority, my expertise to intervene before it was too late. Instead, I just stood by the sidelines. Never even raised my voice. I know I've been critical at times. But I think this would have gone ahead anyways, no matter what you did. That's just how the YTDI department is, Deirdre. And so your name still carries weight at stop. Your case study is compelling and detailed. And I have no doubt that little Pavel is going to be more than happy to see you again once he's out of there. You just need to save your strength for the right time. Don't take no for an answer. Thank you, Iris. I just hope I'm not too late. Iris is a good friend. It's a good friend. She wants to... She's pushing, but she's still a good friend. 8:14. Focus study of CO458 is on hold while the subject undergoes processing. Observations of CO458's former squad have continued in the meantime with little to report. Without CO458's presence, classroom time is quiet and proceeds evenly. Conducted short interviews with trainees in his cohort. Anxiety about future graduation is high. Currently seeking clearance to visit CO458 in recovery. Will update after I've had an opportunity to do so. Alright. So this is the point that's going to hurt more. August 20th. Where could Pavel have gone? The security board told me that it would be at least another week before I could meet with him again. This is the 23rd we're currently on, so... They didn't mention anything about processing, but what else could it be? Processing sounds scientific, but it could mean anything. If it's cybernetics, then there's only so much they can do before puberty. It should be minor. Maybe even... Why am I still trying to rationalize this? Defer to stop at all its excuses despite having the proof right in front of me. They want to modify children. Why? I don't know, and frankly, it doesn't matter. If they really were serving the greater good, why have they been so evasive? So secretive? Can't afford to be humble or gracious anymore. I know more about cybernetics than every other researcher in their department put together. And yet, I allowed myself to be cowed. I acted respectably. Never caused a scene. Because I'm the great Dr. Destrange, revered by the cybernetics community. Because I cared much more about Stop's reputation than the truth in front of me. I can't look away anymore, so they shouldn't either. Finish my reports. Thrust it in their faces, make them see what they've wrought. Be diplomatic, even if it means biting my tongue. At least the science they're doing is still immature. It's physically impossible for them to test mechanical limbs designed to fit soldiers on a child's frame. In Pavel's case, I guess they'll enhance his optic nerves. Still invasive and perverse, but ultimately unobtrusive to his daily life. They wouldn't risk harming a valuable subject like that. Hopefully the worst will soon be over. Pavel's still alive. Once he's gone through processing, I'll make every effort to place him in an environment better suited for a child his age. But first I need to think for an appropriate recovery gift. Something I can fit in my lab coat pockets. Hopefully it's not invasive. Hopefully it's small. If you remember, there were case file pictures from malViolence. And if I remember the scope of those pictures, what comes next can only hurt. It only hurt. This has to be recovery. Review with CO458. After recovery. Oh boy. August 29th. Okay. I'm still have concerns.
Good afternoon, CO458.
I see you're back from processing.
Dr. Deidre? You came!
You sound surprised. I promised you I'd visit, didn't I? Yeah, but... It's been a really long week. Kind of wondered if you'd forgotten. Never. What's this on the floor? Oh, it's just a puzzle piece. Shria was working on it, finishing it while I was gone. But when I was wheeled back in, it got trampled on. She wasn't happy about that. I can imagine. Anyway, here, I got you something. I figured you'd need to pick me up after processing. Fruit gushies! Fruit gushies! Whoa! There's some snacks on the outside. Whoa! I promise they taste nothing like script. I didn't know they made food so colorful and tasty. Glad I picked out something good. So, what have you been up to since processing? Just resting? Well, I'm trying. But Tree keeps bringing me classwork. I thought I didn't have to study anymore. That's very rude of them. I'm sorry, CO458. Now I've been thinking. You don't have to call me that. You could call me Pavel. For the sake of the study, I really shouldn't break protocol. Did you break protocol for the gummies? Oh, got her. Got her. Alright. I'm sorry, Pavel. Much better. Is having a proper name important for you? Indeed it is. You should be proud. Not just anybody gets to call me by my true name. That means I've unlocked my noble phantasm. Oh. Yeah. It's like I'm letting you use it. You and Tree, no one else. You're my inner circle. Yeah. You get to know my secret identity. Like a superhero, huh? Exactly like a superhero. Got it. I'll keep it hush-hush then. Oh, very good. Have you been able to leave your room since processing? No. When I said I was bedridden earlier, I wasn't exaggerating? Yeah, that's the word. And it's really starting to bug me. It's like I've got a house cold. You mean cabin fever? Whatever. Same thing, anyways. Then what happened during your processing? Well, it was kind of like getting my teeth cleaned. Like one moment I'm laying on this long, uncomfy table. Got this big light over me. Kind of looked like a spider with a bunch of eyes and legs. Light was super bright underneath, and I was surrounded by all these doctors in white uniforms and masks. I was told to count from 60, so I did. Then I fell asleep before I could finish. Then I woke up and... oh, God. What? What happened? Was there something wrong with your legs? Wrong? No. Nothing was wrong with them. But now they can give me better legs. You know, an upgrade. Better ones? Ones that'll let me run faster and jump higher. Like a real superhero, you know? Really, it's okay. I just practice hard. I believe you, Pavel. You don't have to move. Please. You're very brave. Do you know that, Pavel? Of course I'm brave. Brave like a hero. Here, hide these under your pillow.
Make them count. I'll be back in a week. Promise.
See? See you again, Dr. Deirdre. God, the facial expressions in this. It's facially... Oh, it's so telling. It's so telling. That little detail. So telling. Smile seeing us off and then just it drops. He's going through it. Can't be a part of this. No one should be a part of this. It's not enough to leave. The fact that anything like this could happen, even if in a modern facility. Maybe it was always naive to think that one case study could fix stop. But if so, what then? What now? September 9th. It is now dark. I've got my 2 weeks' notice lined up with Pavel's estimated graduation. When he's out of the system, I'm taking him and leaving. The smartest thing you've said in a while. Do you have any concerns? It's possible they won't let him graduate. Promises for services rendered don't mean much to people who mutilate children. If my case study is half as explosive as I'm hoping it to be, it's not the kind of thing that Stop will let circulate for long. There are plenty of people out there willing to listen. Not after I slander an internationally beloved crime-fighting organization. You don't have friends in PR or allies in media. It'd be easy to paint me as a disgruntled former employee, disappointed with a lack of direction in her career and looking for a book deal. Sorry, Deirdre. Wish I could tell you that won't happen, but allow me to offer you something else. A carrot on a stick, so to speak. When Pavel gets out, and he will, you can bring him here. Oh, that's the place. That's the place, Iris. Once upon a time it was a garage. Then it was a potential research lab with some living quarters. Now it's yours. It's no 5-star hotel, but it's not too bad this time of year. There's even a river nearby. I don't know what to say. You're just giving that to me? What did you expect? I'm a wealthy woman with few hobbies. I would have ended up renting it out if I even remembered it was there. Much better for you two to get some use out of it. Thank you, Iris. I really mean it. I really owe you so much. The house isn't that big, you know. I'll keep that in mind. You'd better. Don't want to hear any complaints about it being cramped down the line. Iris, I'm just joking. I know you'd never do that. Stay safe, Deirdre. I'll try. So yeah, seeing the outcome of processing is more than enough to push her out the door. Understandable, but 9-3. I'm absolutely appalled at the Youth Training and Development Initiative's decision to perform major implantation procedures on trainee CO458. While it is true that the synchronization rates for cybernetic implants are inversely proportional to the subject's age, this technology was only ever intended for use in adults, save for rare exceptions. The relatively static state of an adult body allows for easier construction of prosthetics, and an adult can be expected to endure the inevitable side effects of implantation better than a child can. Rejection symptoms are not a risk, they are an inevitability. All the advancements in biotech over the past few decades, they have not been enough to stop the body from revolting against artificial neurons when they are stitched to its muscles, from realizing that the hunk of polyurethane and silicone in its skull is not part of its gray matter. Medications can suppress the body's immune response and stave off seizures, but it is a patch, not a long-term solution. Despite these facts, CO458 was approved for a full transfemoral amputation and implant preparation procedure. No matter how hard I try, I cannot conceive of a scenario that justifies the callous removal of 2 completely healthy limbs from a young child. The fact remains that CO458's quality of life has been significantly impacted for no reason beyond the YTDI's goals. If this is the level to which the YTDI is allowed to conduct itself, then it is clear to me that STOP has become little better than the organization it once worked to quash. There is no theoretical threat, or no future crime that justifies what I have witnessed. This is what my research is now supporting, that I would rather have never pursued it in the first place. Dr. Deirdre Strange. September 3rd. I took his legs. As if stripping him of his name wasn't enough, they ripped his legs off of his body. Why? I can't think of any good reason for this. Pavel, suddenly that he is, said they planned to give him even better legs. Even tried to prove it in spite of the pain. That wasn't enough, he hasn't even graduated yet. Last time I tried to visit him, he'd been taken back in for further processing. And not from Shreya of all people. Guards barely seemed to care. Asking him asking about him was like asking about the garbage being taken out a day earlier. Someone else did the work, so they didn't need to know. They said this, all looking at me with that patented stop security expression. Malaise and contempt all at once. Funny how they pressed the kids to be smilingly obedient while the adults looked like bored children. Shreya. When I came to their room, I noticed a distinct coldness in the air. Shreya looked awful. Had she been eating properly? She looked so frail. If she was taken to the operating table too, her chances of survival... I have to leave, stop. The YTDI has to go with me. Huh, as if. What's an academic supposed to do against an intergovernmental organization with unlimited resources and an ever-growing supply of cybernetic muscle? Maybe I can follow Iris's example. This case report will be my indictment of stop. My voice should still carry enough importance to damn it on my way out of the door. If I try to make an impact with my exit instead of leaving quietly, what'll happen next? If I say anything about the way that Angie advised treating those kids, the courts will bury me. I'll have to hope that stop doesn't single me out extrajudicially. To hell with it, though. You can't expect me to keep quiet after everything I've seen. Just thinking about one of our conversations makes my blood boil. We were observing a physical education class. The kids were told to run laps to the point of exhaustion. Knowing the YTDI, they probably were forced to run a little bit longer after that. Look at what we can make people do when we take them beyond the limits of humanity. Isn't it incredible? These kids will do anything for our approval. Whoa. Beyond the limits of humanity. That's a way of putting it, Angie. That's literally inhumane. Some part of me wants to toss them snacks to see if it would improve results. What the fuck? After she said that, she was giggled. As if she were mocking a fat squirrel instead of creating the most Byzantine modern army I've ever seen. Does she think we're still friends? I've been speaking less and less to her, but she keeps talking to me like I'm responding. All while she reveals more and more of her inner workings. As soon as Pavel's healthy enough to graduate, I'll make my move. But I'm not leaving Stop without him. D. Oh. This is chilling. Like, the experience for me, who played the first game and knows that this is a story that is not going to go well. Being that this is a story that I know how it ends. And it is not a pleasant story in the slightest. It's not a pleasant story in the slightest. And it's a cruel descent to an explosive end. Oh. Oh boy. What is this? September 9th. Whoa, D. Angie? Is there a fire drill going on? What? Oh, no, I was just looking for Pavel. Can't find him anywhere. Pavel? Who's? I don't even know his name. Oh, CO458. Well, that's okay. I'm certain he's found somewhere. I mean, it's very safe here. It's not like he could have just wandered off. Of course not. And yes, it is. Very safe here. What? I'm not convinced that any of this is necessary. You're talking about processing. For starters. The post op is never going to look pretty. You know that. You've seen it thousands of times. I mean, post-op, but it's not the post-op I'm talking about here, Angie. It's the fact that op happened at all. On soldiers, volunteers, adults. We didn't see the places we pulled these kids out of. Filthy, overcrowded, underfunded. This facility's very clean and very well funded. Well done. That doesn't make it right. If your justifications are, I don't appreciate your tone. I'm nothing but transparent with you from the very beginning. We've given you complete access to our building, our resources, even our subjects. I had to fight for you, you know. Why was I notified about Pavel's processing? Maybe you weren't on the right mailing list. There's no conspiracies here, D. You of all people had to have known exactly what the initiative's goals are. Angie, Look, I'm not in the mood to argue medical ethics with you in the middle of in the goddamn hallway. CO458's in recovery. He's fine. What? How? This isn't some back alley searching for hire operation. We know what we're doing. Do you? God, I'd loved how they first used that. They first used that sprite, and now using it in this context. It's cold. It's so cold. In fact, what are we going to see here? I'm afraid
Awful?
to find out.
Are you?
Afraid to find out. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. Your head. Your hair. Your eye. It's... Oh, God.
Dr. Deidre?
Ravel, wait. Something's caught. I've got you. Just stay right there. Has anybody been here to take care of you? Oh. Well... I think so. Shriya's been here at night a few times. Hasn't said much, though. I pretended to be asleep because I think she might be scared of me now. She's probably just worried. I'll go and talk to her, okay? Okay. I really don't want to upset her. You don't have to worry about upsetting anyone, okay? You haven't done anything wrong. How are you feeling? I don't know. Tired and weird. It's alright. I'm scared. My graduation is soon and I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. And what else they'll do to me. Just close your eyes for me, okay? Pavel? Ah, he's asleep. They're going to tear him apart. Arrange him again and again. And not just him. They're the trainees here. Oh, they're the children yet to come. Over and over and over. And for what? This is my fault. My research laid the foundation for this. My reputation funded this. I let this happen. I did this. There must be something I can do. No, I have to do something. Something more than writing words on a goddamn page. That's it. I'll break him out. Prevent him from graduating. Burn this program down to the ground as we leave. At this point, this isn't even a call for justice. It's just plain cause and effect. Does Iris know? Do you think I'm doing the right thing? I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Just want to get these children out. Aren't you doing precisely that? Yes, but with many asterisks. Can't save everyone. The numbers just don't work. And how does that make you feel? Like garbage. Where they go? They know nothing about the real world. Kids are tougher than you think. Not tougher than stop. Be surprised. They'll adapt. Doesn't make me feel any better. It's unlikely anything will right now. How about a confession? I wanted all this. The recognition, the respect, the budgets, the pay. You know, before I came to stop, I took 5 internships in one summer. Barely got my foot out the door before I added them to my CV and never looked back. And we all do. That's the game we play. I liked playing that game. I was good at it. There's a sizable, cowardly portion of me that doesn't want to give it up. Do you worry about Dr. Tan and the rest? Despite myself, yes. That's just the kind of person you are. Like, despite the fact that we know firmly where Angie's sensibilities lie in all of this. We know firmly where Angie's sensibilities lie in all of this, and yet still we feel that lingering professional connection, that lingering friendship, that is all but in tatters now. But it's one of those things that even if it's in the mud, it's there, and you're still going to feel it because you're human and you're a good person. In case we don't get the chance to reconnect for a while, let me say this. Every system falls apart eventually. It's entropy. Forest fires are natural and healthy. Stop is no exception. People are horrified by your findings and your methods. That's for the best. They'll quit. They'll leave in droves. You'll have gotten them out of a dark hole. And if I hurt people, then you'll just have to make up for it. And the kids, they'll be strong. Even if their new lives aren't cushy or clean, they'll be lives that they choose for themselves. Again, that's not reassuring. I know. Very little is right now. You have a lot to answer for, Dee. You're already a history maker. From here, I'm sure you'll be making history in a good way. Try to remember that when you eat breakfast with Pavel. Then, is this goodbye? It has to be. She'll be in my home. I'll be there in some way. In fact, the sheets might still smell like me. Iris? Rose? Apologies, couldn't help myself. But you don't need me anymore. You'll do good. You always have. Thank you. Take care now. You were always my star pupil, Deirdre. I trust you'll remember me as your mentor and your friend. Hopefully when you're retired and peacefully birdwatching. Goodbye, Dr. Guy. Miss you. We've met with CO458 today. Oh dear. Engaged in normal conversation activities with the subject. CO458 became tired shortly into the session, so the visit was cut short about after an hour. CO458's temperature and blood pressure appeared to be higher than normal levels during the visit, recommending an increase in immunosuppressant dosage. Recovery otherwise appears to be on pace with the expected timeline. Very curt and to the point. Because her priority has shifted from making that report explosive to I'm about to overturn my life's work in a matter of days. From making that report damningly explosive, which will only get it buried in due course, I'll become a criminal, to this. I'll have to update the textbooks. A small footnote at the bottom of the page, or in the back of the index. Dr. Deirdre Lestrange went on to commit multiple terrorist acts. We in no way, shape, or form approve of her blah blah blah. Fine by me, so long as I leave my name in. Curious kid might search for that crazy lady's name on the internet. Find a case report written by her and give it a read. Better a pariah who speaks the truth than a diligent researcher who can't stand to look at it. Angie. Maybe I have more in common with these kids than I thought? No, that's dumb. I always had the choice to do more, and I took it as much as I thought was possible. But still. So as I walk through the YTDI's halls, I'm filled with nausea passing by the spots I'll rig. Though the guards do nothing but stand around and glower at the kids, they are still more combat-ready than I am. If they finally catch on to my plans, they could stop me before I even rescue Pavel. I haven't feared others being able to hear my thoughts since I was in middle school. I remember feeling guilty in chemistry class as we reviewed exothermic reactions. When I realized how easily the knowledge could be reapplied, I was convinced that there was something wrong with me. It is easy. Compared to my usual work, making bombs is dead simple. I spent most of my time planning how I'd space out the fertilizer purchases. Now that I think about it, smuggling those snacks in made for a fine trial run. I have surefire proof that they won't check me. So why am I still so anxious? It's not my legacy, and it's not the process itself. I'm just afraid of being responsible for Pavel. I can take care of him with Iris's safe house. I have money. I can cook. I can learn the rest. How to be a mom. But Shreya, the other children, where will they go when I'm gone? Even if I could house them all, they wouldn't be free to leave. I'd put a stop on their tail. I'd have just moved them from a spacious cell to a cramped one next to a river. I've done all the planning I can. For now, I think a eulogy to a life of service is in order. To my colleagues, the good ones, I hope you've been working from home. To the rest, you've got no right to complain about what comes next. And to stop, this is war. Plant any more seeds and I'll salt the earth. D. I vaguely remember that being a line she used. I feel like that was referenced in malViolence. Alright, here we go. September 9th. This is early.
Hello, Pavel.
Oh. Good afternoon, Dr. Daedra.
Feeling alright? Me? I take a lot more than this, too. It's okay. You can tell me. Did your graduate training not go well? It was scary. Scary and confusing. Could you tell me what happened? What the training was like? They've been running tests on the chip they put in my head. When it turns on, it's like my brain squeezed into a box. Or a minecart. I can only go on the tracks. That does sound scary. Yeah. I had to do all these stupid reflex exercises. After that, they made me solve math problems and other dumb stuff. Oh, they looked at me over the clipboards and data pads. And so far, I've been doing good. I was doing everything they wanted, even when it felt weird. I felt like somebody was looking over my shoulder. Only that the shoulder wasn't there and that somebody was me. This forcibly dissociated from your own body. It's scary. Somebody else was moving my body. Speaking for me. Speaking for me like it wasn't my body anymore. I'm just so scared. It was gross and strange and... Deep breaths, Pavel. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I did something bad. I was upset. I couldn't help it. I couldn't. Pavel. Oh no, reaction. Pavel. Oh my god. seizure reaction to, I've got you, Pavel, I've got you. You're safe. I'm going to call emergency services right now. You'll be okay, I promise. Shit. Shit. He's on his side, there's nothing in his way, and I've set a timer for 5 minutes. Did everything I can. Why isn't the emergency call button working? They don't care. Worked for another trainee, I've seen it before. Maintenance teams always check it. There's something wrong with his. No. They wouldn't. They wouldn't dare. Dr. Deirdre?
Pavel? It's okay, Pavel. It's okay. I'm here.
You had a seizure. You're safe, and I've cleaned you up. It's okay.
Why? Why did they do this to me? Why? It hurts. They want to hurt me. They want to punish me, don't they? It's because I'm broken. That's why they want to fix me to be like the other kids. I can't stay alive, and I never will. They're gonna keep taking me apart until I break. Taking me apart piece by piece like this forever.
Pavel, you have to calm down for me, alright? You're gonna make yourself sick.
But
I'll be okay. It's over now. I'll make sure they won't hurt you anymore. I mean it. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. What could we say to that? What could we say? What could we even say to give Pavel a glass of water to sip? His hands are shaking, so I hold the water for him. After that, I help him into bed, tuck him in, and wish him good night. Stroke the little amount of hair left on his head. Then I close the door behind me and walk out of the room. The door behind me clicks shut. I don't have the words to describe what I just saw. I don't need a 1,000-word paper to sum up what I feel. Disgust. They took away his medication. His medication! How in any world is that justifiable as a punishment? He could have died. Phil gets hammered down because he sticks out, but any kid would do the same. If he's suffering like this, there's no doubt other trainees are. To talk to Angie, now. I can't believe she's overlooked this for so long. Before I leave for good, I need to look into her eyes and try to make her see. It's the point where we either make her see, or we lose her for good. Starting off like this, huh? I find Angie at the bridge, gazing at the courtyard below. She looks just like she did the first day I came here. She hasn't changed at all. As I approach, she turns to give me an unreadable look. For a moment, I barely recognize her. For a moment, part of me wants to believe she's someone else entirely. I imagine you're here to talk about CO458. Pause. That was unusually direct of her. What do you mean? It's the 21st century, D. We've got cameras in every room. I didn't notice, but somehow, I'm not surprised at all. Feels right at home with everything else I've learned about the YTDI. You were watching that the whole time. She blinks. So you saw how I called for help. You saw him go into a seizure because he wasn't given his medication. We don't know that. A lot of these trainees hate taking it. They'll put it under their tongue, or that's bullshit and you know it. These are your precious test subjects. Invaluable troves of medical data. If you wanted to, you could get a doctor to any room in this building in seconds. What are you suggesting? It's not a suggestion. You're punishing him for what happened during his graduate training. A long silence. Tension in the air twists my stomach in knots. She's choosing her next words very carefully. Tasting them in her mouth, rolling them around like a boiled sweet. Nostalgia laps at me for a moment, a warm pool at the back of my mind. She used to do that before her research presentations. Worrying the inside of her cheek as she waited my feedback. Maybe you're right. But does it matter, Dee? She doesn't look back. Excuse me? Does what happened to CO458 matter that much? Once he passes graduate training, he's got a stable career set out ahead of him. He won't want for food, housing, or guidance. I can't believe what I'm hearing. In exchange for his legs? His brain? His individuality? Individuality? What are you, a teenager? Everyone's got to grow up sometime. Bite down my tongue. Much as I want to, cursing her won't get me anywhere. What's happening isn't complicated, Dee. Gotten too attached to your subject of research. Lost sight of your objectivity. That's all. Happens to the best of us. You think this is my fault? Even you. She's turned back to look at me, but she isn't seeing me. She's done talking. The feeling's mutual. Early in the day, I had printed out my case study. I had intended to go through it with a red pen. That night, I fed it to the shredder, page by page. Months of work gone in moments. Today, we're choosing the route of direct action. It was the best I'd felt in ages. Seeing Pavel in tears, suffering, just after coming out of a seizure. Start of my villain arc. Literally, the start of Daedre's too. Literally. In a matter of minutes, I'm going to burn down my entire career. Maybe it's fitting that the planning reminded me of how I designed my first cybernetic hand, linking each step to the next like titanium phalanges. Getting to Pavel will be simple. I'll enter his room through the small door in the back. No one will suspect me. They'll think I'm conducting another checkup. Just another inane interview to pad out my case study. Escaping will be a much more complicated task. The security cameras are disabled, the safety alarms rewired, and the escape routes plotted. If things go pear-shaped, there's the pyrotechnics I set up ahead of time. Once I trigger the siren, I can't predict who or what will get in my way. My heart's pounding feverishly, my brain swirling with phases and countermeasures and backups, painfully aware of every step and every breath I take, because once I open the dorm room door, there's no going back. I still have a way out. Leave this behind and go back to my old life. Cut ties with Stop quickly. Retire back quietly to a bucolic existence with honors and accolades to my name. I regret and rage in the back of a well-tended flower bed. Bury my regret and rage in the back of a well-tended flower bed. That well-tended flower bed, that is my career. But if I don't open this door, Pavel will continue suffering. Might not survive graduation. Even if he does, he'll become a nameless drone, a shell of a person marching through life, armed with clockwork thoughts and a plastic smile. Can't abandon him. Not to that. God, the red and black colorings in these scenes ever since the latest measures of the work, of the fucking torture they've been putting him through, that marked the change in mood very powerfully. Pavel? I'm gonna come closer, okay? Doctor, Deidre. Now listen to me very carefully. I want to give you something. Oh. Wait, is it another snack? It's better. Oh? Exploder button?
Pavel, do you want control?
Control? Over what? Your future. I've never really thought about my future. Would you like to? You can take your time. I understand what I'm asking. Yeah.
I do, Dr. Deidre. I want control.
Then take this switch and press this button. As soon as you do, you'll be free.
Let's go.
I take Pavel by the hand and gently guide him out of the bed. As his legs clack against the tiles, he wobbles. Do you need help? I ask quietly. We have a lot of ground to cover, and every second's crucial. If he's in pain... It's okay, Pavel responds. It clearly takes him some effort, but he grins up at me. What better way to get used to these legs than a prison break? Despite everything, I chuckle. Between the pulses of the siren, I can hear the hurried footsteps of staff and trainees rushing down the hallway. Take his hand and we walk back to the door I came through. Neither of us look back. The back hall of the dormitory is empty. The alarm lights in the walls blink an angry red as confused personnel jog past us on their way to the emergency stairwell. We walk at first. I try to keep my hammering heart under control as we round the hallway. We're still too visible. I can't help but imagine a security officer behind every door we pass. I squeeze Pavel's hand tighter and he squeezes it back. His steps are shaky. They shouldn't be. Those idiots processing couldn't even be bothered to calibrate the motors right. But he's stable. In spite of everything he's been through, he's keeping pace with me. And then I see it. Imposing door with a small blinking key reader beside it. Exit out of the dormitories. Past it, they lay the operating facilities and engineering. Beyond that, the shipping and receiving bay. And further still, the garage door. Our way out. Normally this part of the facility would be swarming with initiative personnel. But with the alarms I triggered, all of them should have evacuated to the opposite side of the building. I don't even swipe my card. The latch clicks open when I push it. Suddenly my steps are faster, my heartbeat louder. And before I know it, moving. Pavel trips on the first step and nearly crash into each other before he corrects himself. But we run, hand in hand, past the operating rooms and the offices and the open security shutters until, without warning, Pavel's legs buckle. We crumple under him like wet paper, sending him sprawling. I fall to my knees beside him and struggle to pull him upright. What's happening? Pavel asks. I can't answer him. My eyes go to his legs. The lights are still on. The battery hasn't run out. But they're not responding to him. You can see him trying to move what's left of his legs, and the cybernetics just won't react. My eyes fall on the stop logo at his ankle. Look for the shutter we just passed, and the security camera blinking on beside it. Shit, I breathe. Dr. Deirdre? I almost want to laugh. Even as my mounting panic threatens to overtake me. Anti-theft measures. They don't want anyone taking stopped property outside the building. I can hear yelling echoing back down the hallway we came through, distant but growing louder. They know where we are. What should we do? Pavel cries. Dr. Deirdre, I don't want them to find us. Sit still. Quickly, I move to detach his legs. I lean them on the ground, sweep him up into my arms, and bolt. He clings to me, his fingernails digging into my back through my clothes. His left arm dangles out of my grasp. He's light. Far lighter than he should be. I run for the exit, I squeeze him as close to me as I can. A security shutter suddenly slams shut in front of me. I turn to pivot. But more come down over every door in the hallway, falling into place heavy as tombstones. Damn it. Damn it. Rebecca scream. Try to focus on facts. Security's at my back. I can hear them getting closer. Combat boots on tile, heavy and hurried. Every second I sit here, panicked and paralyzed, they stomp closer to us. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can feel cold steel gun barrels at my back. Cuffs, binding, straitjackets. Pavel ripped away from my arms, disposed of as defective goods and reprogrammed into an ideal product. I can't bear that thought. Reach into my lab coat. This is what I call praxis. Pull out a second switch and press it. Explosions rip through the hall with a force unlike anything I've ever felt before. Tear through the shutter, blasting me with heat and smoke and debris that nicks my cheek. Run right into it as more and more explosions go off through the facility, my hidden bombs going off like exothermic dominoes. Burst of red and blinding heat sears my right side. Mistimed trigger or misplaced wire. Push through the pain, running as fast as I can. My ears ring. Muscles scream. My throat stings. All that there is heat and ash and pain. Until, finally... we reach the light. Wow. I can't believe I actually made it. Pavel, I think we're... Pavel? Pavel? Oh, God. Oh, your arm, it's... Oh, God.
Pavel, please. Speak to me.
Blue.
What?
The sky. It's so blue.
I haven't seen it in so long.
You're hurting. Please don't push yourself. You're already bleeding so much.
But I'll live. I'm no longer there. I'm free now, aren't I?
Yes. Yes. You are.
Just wow. Bonus content. Oh. This is. Oh. Yeah, just this shift from the whites of the YTDI to the reds when processing took. When just processing continued to the. God, that just get a good. Trying to see here, but yeah. Oh. God, I love malViolence for how wove that real much. Turn the expectations on its head and wove much deeper and sympathetic story into the tale of a secret agent being kidnapped by a supervillain. Wove that more sympathetic story into the tale amidst puzzles and escape rooms and trials and tribulations and whatnot, to the point where at the end, if you played your cards right, you can come around to the prospect of, hey, this group I work for, stop. They're actually pretty fucked up, huh? And that, in its own way, told a really compelling story in a really unique and engaging way in malViolence. Now this was just pure. This was purely story, but it was just, God, the amount of attention to detail and that went into every single aspect of this. The writing, building Dee's character and young Pavel. His interactions with the people around him and Dr. Tan, who really went through the opposite arc. Started out as, hey, you're my best friend, scientific colleague, I admire you, you're coming here. Started out as with a feeling with Angie that, hey, maybe she knows what's going on here and feels awful about it, but if you really, from what Deirdre's mentor Iris says, kept trying to impart on her she's been here long enough. She wrote the book. She is very much in it. Very much in it now, and is not getting out of it anytime soon. I don't know if that's the right way of saying that, but whether it's She's part of the corporate structure. It's not getting out. And either uses that corporate structure to justify what the hell she's doing. And still feels that it's wrong, but I'm a cog in the corporate machine. I'm doing it for the science. Went from having a hint of that in Angie's character to just straight up. You're wrong for feeling that this is wrong, Deirdre. You got too attached. You can't get too attached. They're test subjects. They're lab rats. They're not humans, Angie feels like. Any hint of that doubt or resignation that you might have seen in her at the start is gone. Like, I can arguably deny that it's gone. And that really... her dismiss... This is the tale of how the greatest supervillain I've ever seen was born. Dr. Danger, most dangerous villain in the world. Gosh. Okay. Man, what can I say to the development of PROTOVIOLENCE? It's a super ambitious project for a game jam. Very first spin-off of original work. Told me at the start of the year I'd put out 2 games related to Caution and Dr. Danger. Never would have really believed you, and here we are. Massive thank you to everyone who worked on this project beside me. You're all incredibly talented people. You could say that again. Everyone involved in this project, incredibly talented. Look at the amazingly detailed and polished product you put out for a game jam. Amazing. You must have led to this game being as good as it is. They could not have done this without you. And another massive thank you to you, the player, for picking up this visual novel and reading it. If you already played malViolence, I have PROTOVIOLENCE and whetted your appetite. Since malViolence itself is pretty light on story. If you haven't, why not give malViolence a try and see what happens to Dee and Pavel in the future? Yes. Had to go grab some sushi for dinner as a treat. Yeah. There they are. Had a blast contributing to the script. The whole team put on their all into this project and it shows. Thank you so much for playing. Oh. This was the first game I ever had a position as an assistant writer. I'm very glad I was with this project. Just an amazing team of talents here, and a very coherent manager to tie it all together. Excellent work. Well, if what my input is worth, I hope you will enjoy the dialogue. I did. I really did. Somehow all these words I've written over the past month have ended up in a video game. How did that happen? Wow. Seriously, it was incredible watching this all come together. The entire team worked really hard to put this story together, from the writing to the art, the sounds, the coding. If it was worth it, all our effort was worth it. It sure was. It's my first time being brought onto a project like this, and I can't say enough about just how honored I am for this opportunity. I really hope I was able to bring some horror to this Spooktober. In its own way, it is very much a horrifying story. Meeting Pavel and these kids, and watching what Stop is putting them through. And the way those scenes were conveyed with Deirdre discovering what they were putting him through is horrifying. Thanks again for having me on such a great, talented team. Thank you for playing and loving our collective son. Please spoil him with scented stickers, comics, and gummies. Yes! Gummies for the Gummy King. Just because there are no puzzles this time does not mean the game will go easy on you. My feels are in shambles. Yes! Same. That being said, congratulations to everyone on the team, and thank you for playing. Oh! Sparkly! Love that sparkly eyes for Pavel. Thanks again for having me on as a UI designer. The whole team worked really hard. I hope you enjoyed PROTOVIOLENCE. Oh, certainly. Thank you for playing. Working on this project was a great experience. What can I say except... Oh. Love your work, Vin. What can I say except pleading emoji? Yes, please. Thank you for having me on board as the voice of Pavel. I was excited and honored to be a small part of Caution's story. Really incredible watching the game come together from the sidelines and see how smooth and organized everything seemed. Hope you enjoy the game and please listen carefully. A lot of great work went into the game, sounding amazing from music to sound effects, to mastering to directing and voice acting too. A lot of great work went into bringing this together. It sure did. It was unbelievably effective. And a cute sticker. Little Pavel, thanks for playing. I always find to compose for a character that's evolving and trying to represent its current stage in life comes as an interesting challenge that I always wanted to do. Hope mine and Melody's music could make you feel inside the story. As much as I've gushed over everything else, animations, art, writing, all that. Shout out to the soundtrack for being beautiful in its own right. We'll go to that then. But Rhodes and Worley remain king and queen of electronic pianos, and nothing will tell me otherwise. Now listen, it's great to be back to compose for our favorite little evil guy. Hopefully you'll enjoy the story and music we've got in store for you all. That's right, you were in the first game, yeah. Thanks for playing, dear players, and thank you, Team malViolence. Memories are only about the past. The present time will never last. The future lies within your heart. Pavel before becoming Caution. Cut my life in 2 pieces. This is my last resort. Thank you for the wonderful beta opportunity. Oh. I won't be there for any other violence series games that this talented team puts out. Dear readers, pay attention. There's a lot of rich thought in this series of stories. Give them some serious consideration. Did I not say that early on in this video? That's a good point. Thank you, Daedra, for traveling to the past and getting revenge on the malViolence Panopticon for me. That's amazing. I just want to pet Caution on the top of his head now, please. Please give him a cookie or something. Yes, many, many fruit gummies. Thought malViolence got me in the feels before, but damn, did PROTOVIOLENCE go hard at some points. This makes sense since now you're seeing YTDI's misdeeds firsthand instead of indirectly. Yes, that's a difference. Like, the threads that were elaborated on in this game were told through, I guess, fleeting story beats, some pictures of the various stages of Pavel's story here. It's a big honor that we have taken even a minor part in helping something this intense on its way to the audience, even if the build was actually already in great condition by the time I got it. P.S. I sure hope that last line won't blow up in my face on release day. P.P.S. Pavel needs a hug. Correct. P.P.S. Microsoft Sam of self-voicing fame needs acting lessons. There. Correct. Yeah, this soundtrack's underrated. Like, real talk, sneaky good. Sneaky really good here. I'm not trained in music in any way, shape, or form, but I feel like I'm kind of picking up on an underlying motif through some of the soundtrack. I'm very curious if that was intentional, or if I'm just a non-trained rube who doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I am a foolish rube who doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just curious if I'm a fool or there is something to that, because the soundtrack is really good. Not gonna lie, this might be my favorite song in the soundtrack. Maybe a bit of an unexpected pick, but I just thought this little title screen slideshow played through here, and just... I don't really think I have much less left to say, because it's... Yeah, at this point I think I've said everything I have to say. Play these games. They're really good. They're really good. Even if you watch my videos on both, play them anyway. It's worth seeing firsthand, experiencing firsthand. Like, even if you watch this video, it's worth playing this game on your own time. And it's worth playing malViolence too. Experience it. Feel it. Feel the panopticon. Feel the panopticon. I'm looking at you! Apparently, there's a bunch of naming Easter eggs and the like in this. What name you enter? So, if I say... Welcome back, Doctor. Yes. I wonder if I say... Will it say this for all the doctors, or... No. I recognized. Say... Well, welcome back, test subject. Yep. Okay, use a few more that we found, and we can type in Iris, who was Deirdre's mentor. I think I tried typing Angela, and I got the generic response, but Dr. Tan, her surname, gets the same reaction. Welcome back, Doctor. I know I did Pavel, but typing in his identification number also gets the welcome back test subject. Deirdre gets welcome back, Doctor. What else can we do? Dr. Danger? Nope, darn. Keep wanting to click the ... like it's an extra link or something. But what we can do is type in caution. Welcome back, CO458. Initiating hack. So they recognize that it's a Pavel. And since we are caution, we are hacking to get at those records. Possibly to plan what he gets up to in malViolence. And the last one I'm going to try, the last one I'm going to show, is that's the last of the names I can immediately mention, think of, and or at least last of the names that I've tried that got a reaction of some sort is Tria, who will give us the welcome back test subject entry here. So I think I've seen most of the unique name responses we can find, so we'll call this an end. Yeah, you should play this game. You should play malViolence too. Experience the journey. Look at that smile. Experience this journey. And keep your eyes peeled. See what else might come from this series of games, where they could go. Where they could go to stand against stop. Also play Bad Faith. I still need to. It's wonderfully unsettling angelic vibes. And I recognize the art style too. It's fantastic. So fantastic. This was just horrifically tragic. Even more so having played the malViolence first, because you know this is you've seen the pictures. You know this is not going to end well. You know things are spiraling down to an end with where Deirdre ends up a villain of Stop. Pavel ends up in a horrific place, having been nursed back to health by Deirdre. And both with eternal hatred for the organization, desire to at least take some action to see it, some justice brought to it, some relief brought to its victims. In terms of what? Maintaining peace better? More peace? 10 peace out of 10? But, yeah. You should play it. You should really play it. All right. I'll leave you off here. All right. Until next time. Until then. Thank you for watching. Lab rats.